Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have the Kat Von D Rust Eyeshadow Quad with me here today. I know it can be a little bit of a challenge to come up with a lot of different looks just using 4 eyeshadows. You can feel kind of limited, and so I wanted to help you come up with 4 different looks using this quad. So I'm putting together a playlist and I'll do 4 different videos. Today I did a spotlight look. So if you want to stop here and just pause, then I will show you what shadows I used from this palette and where I placed them. Or if you want to stick with me, then I will do a tutorial next and show you what eyeshadow brushes I used and where and how I applied this eyeshadow. This is going to be a spotlight look, and I have my eyeshadow primer on, so I'm going to set it with my highlight shade. And the reason I set my primer is because it makes blending so much easier. Your brush just glides over that powder much easier than it's going to glide over the primer, which is very tacky, kind of has a sticky surface to it. And that stickiness obviously is to allow your eyeshadow to last all day. Next, I'm going to take a flat packing brush, and I'm going to take the contour shade, which is that pretty rust orange color, and I'm going to put that both on the inner third of my eye and the outer third of my eye. And I'm just gently tapping it on, and I want to get a nice color payoff. So I want some nice depth. So I'm going to dip into my palette several times to get lots of color. I'm going to clean that brush off with my brush cleaner, and then I'm going to dip into the highlighting shade, and I'm going to pack that on the center of my lid. And I really want a lot of contrast between that darker shade and that lighter shade, so I'm really going to pack that pigment on. Next, I'm going to take a small blending brush, and I'm just going to lightly diffuse those edges between the light and the dark shade. Just be sure and don't take this brush across the top of that light shade, because you will smear that orange color all over the spotlight and you'll lose the integrity of it and it just won't be as pretty. We just want to very gently, small little motions, diffuse the color out so that you don't have too harsh of lines. You're going to have a little bit of a line because we are using such a dark and such a light shade. And that's okay, because spotlights are, you're kind of expected to have a little bit of that line. And if you can't tell, I have taken away some of that light color, some of that highlighting color. So I'm just going to go back in and add a little bit more just to really up that contrast. I'm just very gently going to place it in the center of my eyelid. I have seen a lot of spotlight eyes where they do not do a crease shade, which I understand, because then you just have this beautiful kind of contrasting lid shades and it's really pretty. I, however, have hooded eyes, and because of that I like to always use a crease shade just to kind of give the illusion that I have a larger lid than I really do. So I'm going to take a crease brush, and I'm actually going to go into the base shade, the lighter shade, and I'm going to use that as a crease shade. If I don't think that that is giving enough contrast, then I will probably go into the contour shade, but let's try this and see how it turns out. That's pretty, but you know what? I want a little bit more contrast, so I think I am going to go into that contour shade. Just very, very gently dip into it. I don't want to get too much pigment, and I'm going to put that in my crease. There, I'm liking that a lot better. It's giving that little bit of definition to make it look like my eye is receded back and just giving a little bit more of a contouring effect, which I really love. Next, I'm going to take my fat Coastal Scents brush, and I'm going to take that highlighting shade and I'm going to put it underneath my brow bone just to give a pretty highlight. I'm going to be truthful here. I'm not convinced that oranges are my color on my eyes. I think I look better in a little bit more cool tone colors, so I would be very curious to just get your all's thoughts on that, if you think that this looks pretty or if you think that maybe orange just isn't for me. Now my recommendation is don't do an eyeliner with this look, because if you do, you're going to interrupt the continuity of that dark, light, dark shade. And so I don't think it's going to be quite as pretty. I do think that it would look beautiful though to go ahead and outline underneath our eyelash. And I'm going to do that a little bit differently than I normally do. And I'm going to take that contour shade, which is that pretty rust orange, and I'm going to put it on the outside of my eye right here, just 1/3 of my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take it again and put it on the inner 1/3 of my lower lash line. And I'm just going to gently blend it out as much as possible. And then I'm going to clean this brush off. And I'm going to go into the highlighting shade, and I'm going to put that on the center of my bottom lash line. Basically, I'm mirroring that spotlight look on my lower lash line. So you have dark on the outer 1/3, light in the middle, same as you do on your lid, and then you have dark on the inner 1/3 of the eye. And what this does is it can make your eye look rounder. So if you have really flat eyes, then this will make your eyes appear just more rounded of a shape. I have put mascara on, and this is the final look. I think it's really pretty. It's kind of dramatic, but I think it would be beautiful to wear to work. I wouldn't have any problems wearing this up to my kids' school. I don't think anybody would think anything of it. It's just a really pretty spotlight look. I will be posting a few more looks using this palette, so if you're interested in seeing those looks, then just check my playlist and they should be up soon. So thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye.